here and I make what I need at the time, and even what I'm feeling at the time. I rap, but it's like, even if I was a chef, it's about the same thing. It's about finding people who, they don't even have to be like-minded, but they like you. Like, they like you and they want to tap into what you have going on. And then that's kind of better to me anyway, because then you could take them to different mediums. Like, I'm conscious of the fact that I've been saying things that have been like to carry the conversation. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't really so much been about me or like even where I want to go, which is like, I want to go to like arenas and like, I legitimately want to do that. But it's like, I've been rapping like I'm still at the lunch table. Because I know that's what I needed to do. Like, because I need to get my point across. Like, you know.
Welcome back to another episode of Empower716. I'm your host, Rob Lowry, and this is a podcast dedicated to entrepreneurs, business owners, side hustlers, career shifters, those who are committed to growing their life and business. And so I have the privilege of having another guest for this episode. It's been a long time coming. I'll actually get into a little bit more about, where we connected. Love the Genius is in the building.
Absolutely.
How are you?
I'm amazing. How are you?
Amazing. Now, do you really mean you're amazing?
I really mean
because some people just say like, "Oh, I'm good," No,
but I would. If I was any mood, I would tell you. I would tell you the truth. I'm really doing amazing.
That's really awesome. Well, it is great to have you here. But we go
years, definitely.
That seems so wild.
Right.
20. So how do we connect with each other? So I won't share, but you
know
remember?
what? I actually prefer if you do share, because I was trying to think about it, but I feel like, especially in Buffalo, I don't even, like, I've known you for so long, I don't even remember the exact. Like, I know I was a kid for sure, but I don't remember the exact.
So it definitely was Boys and Girls Clubs.
Yes. I remember. Yes, absolutely.
And so obviously, I know some of your family members and your mom and everything else. And so I think we had, obviously I seen you there in the club, and I think we had a competition. Yeah. And I was like, oh, she can rap. They was like, oh, she can rap.
I remember that too.
And you used to do some things back then.
Yeah.
So then as I think we became Facebook friends, and then just kind of seeing you from a distance and seeing all the things that you're doing, which is amazing. And so I think one of the great things is, like, sometimes, like, with this podcast, it kind of pushes me to, we all are in our busy lives, and sometimes you don't get to step back and say, just look at what you're actually doing. And it doesn't mean like I'm not supporting you, but it's like everybody's got stuff going on. And then I'm going through, and I had to go on Apple, and I had to download a lot of your music, because I'm like, and not because I felt guilty or I needed to, but I was like, this is dope.
Yeah, thank you.
So just to give you some history real quick, like, I always wanted to be a rapper.
Really?
When I was younger. And I actually thought, this is back when NWA Ice Cube was really big. And I thought I was going to be the next Ice Cube.
Okay.
And so that's just for me. So I used to write stuff, and I was like, yo, I'm going to be the next Ice Cube. And I really admired, like, Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, and all that stuff. And I came to the humble beginnings of understanding that I wasn't a good rapper, which is why, like, we used to do a lot of talent shows back at the Boys and Girls Club. And like I said, I remember you being in a few of them.
I remember that, yeah.
And just doing your thing.
That was
and I was like, she's going to be dope. She's going to be Because you was spitting back then.
I was rapping for years, even at that point.
Yeah.
It was not as many as now, of course, but I always wanted to be a rapper for sure.
So I got a thing for music. So I still have like an ear for music, and so I love music, and I love when you see the creativity part of it, and even like flows and stuff like that. And so one of my favorite artists is Jadakiss.
Okay.
And so obviously DMX and Biggie and Pac. So I went through a few of your songs, and I want to just before we go a little bit deeper about who you are. So actually, let's start there first. Let's start with Love the Genius, because when I first read it, and I know you got, and I've seen, a lot of people say your name. Give us the significance of your name.
Well, the love part came because I wanted a name that I felt like made sense for who I was as a person. Like, love is everything. Love is so many different things, like love is calm, love is unexpected, love is light, love is heavy, love is sad. I just wanted to have a name that made sense, because before that my name was Platinum when I was a kid, and that just didn't make sense, like for who I was as a person. So, and then the genius part, it just came because I'm really smart, really. And then I flipped it because it was like I can't really trademark love, like LOVE. So I had to figure out something else with it. So I made the L a 7, and then I just X'd out the O. So
Now, when I was talking to a lot of young people, they knew what that meant. I felt like, I was like, what does this mean? Like, I need to know how to pronounce this.
Yeah.
And like, can't you see and I was like, I guess I wasn't that quick. Now you get that a lot?
I get it a lot, but not as much. Like, once I say it to people, it's like, okay. Because what people don't know is like, I feel like, because like, I mean, people do know this, but I feel like A$AP Rocky, like A$AP Mob, they like made the A S, and then they flipped it upside. I mean, they made the S a $sign and flipped the A. You know what I mean? They made it a V, like, and then like that. It was a clothing brand from back when Tumblr was like hot. It was like Tiso or something like that. They did it with the letters and the shapes. So I think like it's not like the first time. So I think that's what it is. Once you explain and it's like, oh, okay, I got it.
I got it. Yeah.
I think it's like that. It just take a little minute.
Your music style, how do you define it?
My music is really honest. It's really honest to who I am. I really like warm sounds, but I like heavy sounds. Yeah. I like jazz a lot. I'm like heavily influenced by jazz as a person. But I'm from where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the lyricism's there, the story's there. So that's how I would define it. It's really honest and authentic to me.
Yeah. So I was watching some of your battle raps and or your freestyle. And then listen to your music, and I love the flexibility, or if that's the right word, because you can be rough, but you also got that gentle side,
right? Because that's how I am as a person, man, for real. Because it's like I'm saying, like, like we from where we from, but I'm who I am as a person, you know. So I know how to get in and out of certain bags, because you just have to. Coming from Buffalo, you gotta just, that doesn't change who you are. You just gotta know how to maneuver, how to turn it on and off. Like, when, especially in Buffalo, like, we've been battling and stuff since, rapping, you just been battling and stuff. So when it's time to get to that mic, you just get right to it.
It's right to it.
Definitely.
So I went through a couple of your songs, and the ones that kind of stuck out to me, I'm going to read the lyrics to a few of them, just so kind of see where your mindset was in.
Okay.
I've been running from myself for like a minute, quietly crying for some help, just pretending. They ain't going to get it if I say it. I better be off just praying. Finally decided to find myself, and now I'm in it. Where was you at when you did
So that song, that was like on Self-Love, I believe, like at the end. Yeah. And when I was making that project, I was just really, that was when I first came back to Buffalo. I was like really sad. My grandma had passed away, and I was just really in a like, I felt like I had lost my footing for a minute. So like I said, my music is really honest to me. And I write a lot about how I actually feel. Like sometimes it's about the external, what's going on, but a lot of times it's just me and how I feel. And that was just that. Like my grandma had passed away. It was like, you know, trying to hold on to what I knew before her passing, and then coming back to Buffalo after going and living in the city, trying to chase a dream, and then it's like everything feels like it's shattered, and then you back, and then you still gotta maintain, like, you know. So that's what that was.
That's and I love that you're able to, do you feel like that's your outlet as far as your music, like, especially like when you're going through, because that's a lot, like when you go back home from something, especially losing a loved one, and then even going back to the place you started could also be like, it's a lot.
Right. It was all at once. Yeah, it was a lot. But my music is an outlet. I'm actually getting better at it now, like in these adult years. But since I was a kid, I realized that I just been writing. That's how I was getting my emotions out, was from writing songs. So like now that I'm at a point where like, so when I still write from internal emotions, but it was a lot of stuff going on. So I wanted to talk about those things. But now that internally I'm doing better, it's like, wow, I realize that's how I've been expressing and getting things off. But I'm getting better at it now as far as just vocalizing without being in the studio, like the way that I feel and stuff. But I feel like also I could get the way that I feel across better. Like I could word it better if I have the time to sit, because I write my lyrics. So I have the time to sit and look at it and read, like, no, this is exactly how I feel. Versus like if I'm just talking about it, it's like, you know, spare of the moment type of wording and emotion. So
I like that process.
Yeah.
So here's another song I picked up on. I know too many who look at me as a check, but you don't get respect till you take the connect.
Right. That's a fact. I mean, that's just saying, like, it's just showing some awareness. Like, you know, like I understand what's going on. Like, I know there are people who see me as an opportunity, but I understand how to play the game. That's really what that's saying. You know what I mean? Like, I understand my mom liked to say, like, take the meat, leave the bones type of thing. You know, that's what I was saying, really.
How do you navigate now? We talked about a little bit about your growth, or we are going to talk about your growth and over the years as an artist, and then obviously as a person. But how, especially in the music industry, and looking at you as like, okay, maybe she can make me some money, so let me hang around with you, let me vibe with you, or figure out where you're trying to go.
Right.
How do you decipher who to connect to and who to kind of like stay away from?
Honestly, sometimes it's just sometimes I get in these moods when it's like, I know you using me, but I'm using you too, and let's have a good time, like, you know. But it's really about understanding the trade-off. Like, you can't just get something for nothing. Like, that's never gonna happen unless it's like your parent or something weird. Like, but if you want something, you have to know, like, it's an investment for everybody. So it's just a matter of, like, for me, it's just about understanding my principles and what I want and what I'm not willing to give, type of thing. You know, and what I do want to take. It's just understanding that. But I think that's just from experience over the years, really.
You getting different opportunities. Obviously, the more exposure you get, people may say, hey, I want to sign you and things of that nature. How do you navigate keeping your values in place and not always, and I guess this is for any artist, is that sometimes the biggest check is not always the best opportunity. So how have you, I guess, witnessed or experienced opportunities where you kind of said, nah, this is just not right for me?
You just have to pass. I think that's what selling out is, when you do that type of thing. I think it's like, I personally don't mind saying no to something. Like, I don't feel like, I feel like everything is what it's supposed to be. Like, I do feel like you can make something wrong or right, or not right, wrong or right. I don't think there's a wrong or right, but you can make something happen or not depending on what you do. But I think everything is perfect. So with that, I feel like it's just a matter of, again, knowing what you want and knowing your morals and being okay with that. Like, you know, because I always think about the opposite, which is the feeling of doing something that I don't all the way agree with, or the outcome of something that just wasn't what I wanted, and then how I have to deal with that every day. So it's just like, but I think some people are like, yeah, I know I'm gonna feel like that, but I'll just take the money. Like, you know, and that's just, I don't know. Like, I don't really know about those type of people, but that's the way I operate. All in all, I would say I got to this place by failing a lot of times, trying a lot of times. Now, at this point, I feel like you actually, like, if I would have sped up the process of failing, I would have done things faster. But I also feel like Buffalo, being in this city in itself, with what I was trying to do, there weren't any outlets really until like Wes and Griselda came. And I'm saying that because I've been doing music since I was, I put my first project out on the street when I was 11. I started going to the studio when I was 9. So I've been doing this for a long, long time and doing different things, trying different things. And then like just from like how I grew up, where I grew up, I knew Conway and Benny and Wes. And then it was a matter of like, I had stopped doing music. And then I was living in Atlanta and stuff. And then Benny, he just hit me up like, we got things going on. Like, it's not just, because I started feeling like we're just doing this for the fun of it. Like, this is doing nothing for us. Like, we spent years and dollars and travel all these places for what? But now I was going on with my life. Like, you know, then he was like, no, we don't, like, come, like, at least look at what we got going on. Or, you know what I'm saying? So it was just like a matter of tapping back into that. And then I was, like I said, I had moved back to Buffalo. So I was like, I needed something to do anyway, because I was just so, like, you know, wrapped up in my emotions about my grandma. So it was just really good timing. But all in all, as far as the preparation, it was just from failing a lot of times, really, and trying and just believing, really.
What's one of the biggest, I won't say biggest failure, but one of the life learning experience in your upbringing that you've learned that is kind of like stands out to you?
The biggest thing I ever learned is, so I moved to Atlanta. My mom had actually sent me to Atlanta with like, because it was like right after college. Like, I graduated college, like, let's say a Wednesday, I moved on a Friday. I was just like, I'm out of here, like, you know. So I had like 17, she just gave me like 17,000, like, you could just go. But I was so eager, and like I'm saying, Buffalo had no outlets. I had met this guy. I was working at a church. I was doing video work for a church, like working the boards or whatever, broadcasting. And this guy was working there too, and he was like, yeah, I know Ludacris. He basically ripped me. I just gave him money and stuff, and I didn't know, like, I had no idea. He had landed me down. That was when I first got down there. But Atlanta is a place like that. Like, if you don't know, you'll get caught up in it, because there is so much happening that there are a lot of people who are preying on the people who think that, and they're not really doing the thing, you know? So I got caught up in like a situation like that. I ended up just giving him thousands of dollars, and just like...
And you didn't get to see Ludacris?
I saw Ludacris. This was what was crazy. He was doing some of the stuff, but it was like, he just was saying, I need this amount of money for this, and I wasn't, it just was weird. And it was like thousands of dollars. Then he stopped answering my calls and stuff. But that just taught me, like, to not be so eager and not just work with it, like how you said, to know who to work with and stuff. Just like, take your time. That's what I'm saying. Like, everything is gonna be what it's gonna be, you know. But you can kind of like mess it up too.
Most of us, and we think like when we growing up, is that we need it fast, we need it right away, and that taking that time to really understand, like, okay, easy, quick ain't always the best way.
Right.
So I want to go a few songs that I just kind of vibe with was here's another lyric. I think about my life and what I've been through. You got to know I'm strong. Some S I've conquered probably killed you.
Facts. That's a big fact. That's a real fact.
I was like, oh, I like this song.
Yeah, I've been through some crazy stuff, man. Like, some stuff that's like not even of, like I'm saying, like, I write about my emotions, but I've been through some weird stuff. Like, I got metal in my leg. Like, I was blind for like a year. Like I went blind for like legitimately I was blind. Like I had like it's just stuff that like you have to overcome as a person that I just in the midst of that, still being in the hood, still having like stuff going on. It's just like, you know, it's been a lot. For sure.
So you're not all put together, you know, everything ain't perfect.
Oh no. No, I'm trying to get it together now. At least I'm trying to do what I think I'm supposed to be doing right now. Yeah. All of my niggas done seen the sentence like they in the reading business is what I said.
So give me some, expand upon what that meaning is.
It just means like the song is saying you should be proud that I'm not in prison. The truth is that I just chose a lot of the other things. Like that's what I'm saying when you like young. I'm kind of freestyling this life I got. Like like you know, I'm just kind of like doing a lot of the opposite things of what I see and what's around me type. Because for real, a lot of the people around, not necessarily around me on my team, but just like my people I grew up with and stuff, is like we really from the real life hood, like the real hood who's like, it's a normal thing to be young and have a baby. It's normal to go to jail, normal to get shot. It's normal. Like this is real life normal stuff. And I just was like, I'ma just do the other thing. I don't know what's over there, but I see what's happening with what y'all doing. So I'ma just try this other thing. That's what I'm saying. You should be proud that something became of it. You know what I'm saying? Because this is where I'm from.
Yeah, I love how you did that wording in there. That was dope.
Thanks.
I walk into the room. I'll be quiet. Know when to learn. Bringing water under bridges. I know I should burn. No, I should burn.
What song is that? Yo, you know what? This whole picking lyrics out of like just
you say you don't even know what song that is?
Whole song. No, I don't know.
That's good though, because I was like, I wonder if she know all her lyrics. No,
I have to go through the whole from the beginning of the song.
So 7.
Sometimes. Okay. 7. Okay, yeah, and that wasn't even an official single, so I definitely just threw that out there. But what did I say?
So I walk into a room. I be quiet. I know when to learn.
Facts.
And bringing water under bridges. I know I should burn.
Okay. So I don't really know, but I do know that I do know that I do understand when you should. I understand when you should, you know, how to play your role. Yeah. You know, like when you gotta, it's not your place every time to speak up on something or like to take the lead all the time. Sometimes you gotta like know when it's your turn to just observe and learn and listen. So I'm pretty sure that's what I meant, and that's
what I took away. And that's why I wrote it down, because I was like, it takes a humble person, but it also takes a wise person to know like you can't always be the one just like giving information. I always use that thing. It's like, if I'm the smartest person in the room, I'm in the wrong room.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm always willing. Who can I learn from? What can I gain from them? Or, you know, obviously it's a give and take, but like I love being in a room where I can learn something new.
Yeah, me too. And even if that learning is not necessarily like, sometimes I just see what another person would do. Because that could be a way of learning too. Like it may not be from somebody who's more experienced or got more stuff than you, but it's just another way of thinking about something. Yeah. You know, I like doing that too. Like kids even. Just like, what you think about this? Or like, how would you do that? And just, you know, definitely. My best album hasn't even been made. Yeah, I haven't made my best album. My best album, it's like otherworldly. The music I have coming out is like different. It's like otherworldly as well. So my best album is definitely not been made. I haven't even met the people I'm gonna make it with yet.
That's dope. I love that.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a real fact. I feel like even like the projects that's out right now, like let's say like Love is Love, Self-Love 2. Self-Love 3, I started getting more into it, but those first 3 projects, I wasn't even working with producers for real. It was like people sending me stuff. And then Self-Love 2 is like I started meeting producers and trying to like build more. So that's what I'm saying. By the time I make my best album, I'm locked in with some real artists and musicians. Yeah.
I love that response, because It shows that you got more there's something more for you.
Definitely,
That's dope. I love that.
I'm signed to Drumwork Music Group, which is Conway the Machine's label, Conway the Machine of Griselda Records. That came about because, like I said, I've known him since I was a kid. I used to record at DJ Shay's studio too. That's where him and Benny and them used to record. But I just got signed because he just, like I said, I knew him. So he was like, I want to sign you. Like, I'm starting the label. I want to sign you if you into it. And I'm like, okay, I'll send you what I got, really. And then we just started linking up more. And really, from us linking up a lot of times, I made the album that I'm about to put out. So I had that album maybe made for like almost 3 years now, and it's about to come out now. So, but that is how I got signed, making that, like, linking with him, like,
making those connections.
Listen to this song I just made, like, you know. He's like, all right, let's add that to the batch, like, you know. So that's really how that happened, and just staying tapped in, really. Yeah.
What's the new project? You said, is it Self Love 3 or is it something else?
So I got a lot of new music coming out. My album with Drumwork is called Death of Deuce, and that's coming out. And then before that, me and DJ Green Lantern are putting out a mixtape, which by the time this come out, it should be out.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's why you excited?
I'm so excited. I'm super excited. Definitely. Yeah.
So I want to go to like the business side, because on this podcast, we talk a lot about the entrepreneurial journey and some of the things like, and obviously you know this, but it's one thing to be a music artist. I mean, you can be the best lyricist. You can be the best artist, but if you don't have the business intact,
right,
it means really nothing, right?
Right. Facts.
So how do you navigate the business side of your artistry? Like,
what I've come to realize is that so I'm a business person, like I have a business mind.
Yeah.
But in this realm, especially with the just like the way how often you have to produce.
Yeah.
I'm at this point completely separated it so that I could just be an artist. I have a great lawyer. I have a great team. It's really just about having people you trust around you, and people who know what they're talking about, and people who are willing to also learn.
Yeah. For
me, that's what it's about. But I try to just I was like trying to oversee every little thing, but now I'm just like I'll just see the end result, or like overlook at the end, like, you know what I'm saying, make little tweaks. So I think overall though, it's about just trusting, having good people around you and trusting them.
Now, how do you the creative side and understanding where the music industry is right now? So obviously, you know, with TikTok and everything else, music and the marketing strategies, all, you know, even besides just TikTok, but music right now, I guess my first question is like, what do you think, where is the state of music right now, like in your perspective right now?
I feel like the state of music, I feel like music is in a great place right now. I feel like it's actually it's like wide open though for something new, for sure. I think that, but where it is, I think is dope. Like I actually love how many women there are in it. I feel like it's a large variety of different like subject matters. Like regardless of what you're looking for, you'll find that somewhere, and I think that's dope.
I think with like looking back at like a lot of independent artists, like it used to be very difficult for independent artists to come out and be exposed and so forth. And do you think it is easier now to, like, if you're trying to get started and you're coming just from scratch and you're just trying to get your music out there, do you think it's more easier to get your music out there?
Absolutely. It's way easier. It's way easier because it's just like on your phone. You just gotta, it's just a matter of starting. For me, to me, if you're not, I'm not saying you gotta blow up or be this big person, but if you're not having people checking for your stuff, you're just not really doing it, because everything is on your phone. Literally, you can, like you said, TikTok, that's like easy. You know, it's just I think it's all accessible for everybody. Yeah, it's just understanding, like I said, everybody not gonna blow up from it. Yeah. But I think that's the misconception people have, thinking like, I got TikTok too, I could do this, like, you know. But it's also about understanding or having an idea of what you think success or what's good for you is. Like, and that's the thing too.
Do you think, I'm hearing a lot about substance. The substance doesn't matter. Like, if you got a good hook, good catch, that's what people are buying.
Right.
And far as like the underground, it's still a little bit more difficult to find, unless that's your kind of thing you're going after. What's your thought on that?
I think I agree. I personally feel like it's about, like, from an artist point of view, I think it's about knowing where you want your music to be heard.
Yeah.
Like, because me, I like listening to music super loud. Like, I understand the music I make, but I like listening to music super loud. And at that point, I don't care what you're saying. Like, I care about how it makes me feel and like how it sounds together. So in that regard, I understand that, but I think it's about, like I said, knowing where you'll be heard at. Some people are heard in a car late at night. That's when you put that artist on. Some people are only for the club. That's the only time you put that person on. Or some people are only for the cookout. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just about that. And you're going to hear and experience different things from different people in different settings. So
now, who are you targeting for your music? I mean, obviously I know that the way that some people don't approach, some different artists may approach their music far as, this is just me expressing myself, and whoever listens to it. Do you have a target of who your listeners are, who you're trying to like speak
I do
to?
Definitely the people. I want my music to motivate people. Like, I want to make music for the streets, but not for, like, not in a way of like from the trap, like this, like for you to go get some stuff done, like, you know, for you to get up and get to it. Like, my music is for the people who want to have a good time and not feel so bogged down by things, by life, even though that's going on. It's just like a way to let that go, like when you listening to it, because that's the type of music, like I like listening to Mary J. Blige, like My Life, and that's what it does for me. Like I like listening to like life after death, and that's what that does for me. And that's the type of music I want to make. So my music is for those people who, like, this is real life, but like we vibing out, like, you know. Definitely.
Is it because you've come from that situation of a kind of like, despite your situations and the things you've been through, there's still hope, there still needs to be kind of something that you're working towards? Is that kind of like...
Yeah, but also I always just wanted to make what I wanted to hear. Like, I feel like back to your state of the music question, I feel like people are having a good time again. Like, I'm really happy that people are dancing and stuff like that again, but that's not the mood all the time. You know what I'm saying? And with everything, the way life is different from COVID, and with the state of finances and just America and everything, things are actually sad. Like, you know, so that's really what's going on. But like, for me, it's like about finding a happy medium, because I don't want to, like, me personally, like, sometimes I do turn up. Like, I do feel like that. But it's like, I still want to listen to something that's I'm able to listen to and still get things done. So I make that because that's what I want to hear.
You know, having that different vibe. Listen to some certain music. And this is like, I'm all over the place with music. Like, I can listen to some crazy music. I mean, there's some NBA YoungBoy songs I listen to. And there's some gospel songs, R&B, some old school. But when we talk about like the place, and I want to talk about the younger generation and the creativity and what music does to people. And there's also people who get numb to certain things. Like, if you listen to the same thing, and you talked about like, there's circumstances like, far as your job, school, whatever thing, life stuff, that some of us may not be able to tap into some of the music we listen to. Like, if I listen to, let's say, for example, a Cardi B song, and that's going to get you in this type of vibe. If I listen to, you know, Jadakiss, that's going to get me in this vibe. The music that you're making, do you think it's going to help the people who tap into the other creative side that may not be tapped in through other music?
I hope so, because it just doing it for me.
Yeah.
Like, I really make music for myself. That's the real thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I make what I want to hear, and I make what I need at the time, and even what I'm feeling at the time. And I really hope that it hits other people the way that I intend for it to. But I'm really just trying to get my stuff out. Like, that's really it. Like, I'm into all of the details and stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm just creating. Like, I hope that people vibe with it, but that's just what I'm going for. Like,
Want to be a guest on our show? We're always looking for entrepreneurs, business owners, side hustlers, and career shifters that are willing to share their life and business experiences, strategies, lessons learned, and pitfalls to avoid with our listeners. If you would like to be considered as a guest on an upcoming episode, email us at Empower716@gmail.com and include your contact information along with background information about your business, and share what value you can add to our listeners.
Did you ever make like a song and you're like, this is dope, I gotta get this out, and then 2 weeks later, like, no.
I do that. Listen, I'll make a song and I don't like it the later that day.
Yeah,
definitely. I make so much. So I got the studio in my house. So sometimes I just wake up and make a song, and then it was like later in the day, clearly I was tired. Like, I was clearly exhausted, and I just had an idea. But that's the beauty in it. Like, I feel like because I've been doing it for so long, I understand that like everything is not gonna be it. But it's just about, like I said, it's just about getting that out. And sometimes I make something and it's not it, but there's potential there. So it's like, okay, if I just come back to this later, I can make something out of this. Or like, I like where I was trying to go. Or like, but I'm always like that. I very rarely make something and I'll be like, this is it the whole time. I'll probably make something and then like, I gotta get away from it for like a couple days, and then I'll hear if I like it or not.
I was gonna ask you that. Is there like a period that you've kind of like, I think they call it writer's remorse, but where you kind of just like, as far as creative wise, just kind of like went blank? Oh yeah.
So one thing about me as an artist, I don't even like, I get in seasons of writing. Like I might write a little note on my phone. Yeah. But I don't just sit and write songs all day. Sometimes I don't, like, a lot of time people don't even, I mean, people are starting to now, but some people who know me personally, they don't even be thinking about me having to rap because I'm so like, we just live it right now. Like, So yeah, sometimes it's like I'm like that all the time, but then like something will hit me and it's like I'm just writing for 2 weeks straight or like a whole month straight, But usually when I get in those moments, that's when I just make a whole project, because I like just getting the whole project out. But yeah.
So we'll get you in the most. So when you go in the studio, like some people need, all the extra stuff. I won't say what those things are in the studio. They need to have the certain vibe. What kind of vibe you got to have when you get in the studio? I like going to the studio by myself. Do you? Okay. Yeah, I like going to the studio alone. But then when I'm listening, so at the studio, even when I'm recording, I don't like to hear the song back until I'm done with everything I'm recording that day. Really? Wow. Yeah, because like I said, I like to take my ears off or something. So sometimes I'm just trying to get my idea off, and I'll just lay that down. Then I have like 3 more songs I'm doing. Then it's like, play that one from earlier. Like, but yeah, I have to take some time away from the song, and then I call people into the studio to play the music back. But I like being in the studio by myself. I like it dark. I might like some candles. But I don't even really need candles. I just need me, the engineer, and no lights. Wow. Yeah. And do you have like, pretty much like, obviously you said you write your songs. So do you have kind of like when you're doing a project, maybe, you know, multiple songs, do you kind of have like all your songs and the concepts laid out going to the studio, or is it kind of figuring it out in the studio?
Okay, so so when I'm making a project, I don't know the answer to that. I do know that I have all of the sounds. Like I will put, let's say if I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do 10 songs on this project, I will have the beats in order and like this is the next beat, this how, but I kind of like think about the overall point I want to have for that project, and then it's kind of like a script, I guess. I would think of, like, I think about the overall thing I want to give people in the end of listening to the whole thing, and then I think about how I could break that down and get that point across, and then I make a song like that. But it's not, sometimes I just make a song and then it's like, you know, but most times it's like that, like this is the overall thing with this sound at this point of the project, it needs this type of thing or this type of energy.
Out, yeah, I like that. As far as like features, I know you did a few features, but is there someone like you're like, this is, I want to work with this person in the future? Like,
I want to work with Tyler. I want to work with Tyler, the Creator, so bad.
Okay,
like I love him. I want to work with Solange. I want to work with Lotto. I like Lotto too. I want to work with Westside Gun.
Okay.
Yeah, that was probably. I want to work with like some producers though. Like I want to work with Pharrell. I want to work with Kanye too.
Yeah.
I would love to work with Kanye West. I would love to work with Kanye West even if it never came out. Just like I'm working with Kanye West.
In there,
just in there working.
That'll be dope.
But yeah, I like a lot of people though. I'm open. So it was dope.
So as far as like you've been on a lot of concerts, what was like that experience? Like maybe like your largest audience. Like how? Tell me, like walk me through that experience.
I don't even remember those. Man, I don't even remember the largest audience. I guess I don't even remember, but I do remember like we were somewhere, I think we was in Canada, but it was like somewhere far into Canada, like on the west coast. And it was like people outside waiting for us and like holding signs. But I always have this idea of that people are there to see Conway.
Yeah.
But people have been there to see me like that. Like, you know, and that's been like amazing, and just people following me around. It's a little weird, but right now I'm excited. Like right now it's exciting. Right now it's like
it's cool to have it right now.
Yeah,
right?
like it's not too much. But yeah, I say stuff like that is just as a whole. It's just like, you know, because I make these songs in my house like a lot of time. We're like in the car, like, you know, and it's like y'all listen to this all the way over here, whatever. That's dope.
How do you like when you see the fruits of your labor kind of going like in action, like how do you stay grounded and not kind of believe your own hype?
I guess I feel like it's probably because I've been doing it so long.
Yeah,
I still feel like I feel like I got so much to do still.
Yeah, like
I said, I'm still trying to get my footing, like, you know, and people tell me all the time like I'm actually more lit than I behave. But I don't know what that even, like what else I'm supposed to be doing. But I think it's because I've been doing it since I was a kid, that like right now I'm still doing my ideas from when I was a kid. Like I haven't tapped into my new ideas yet, and I have new ideas.
Wow. But
at this point it's just like, let me just see these out, like you know what I'm saying? So it's not so much of like, oh, this is exciting, blah, blah, blah. It's really like, is this it? Like, you know what I mean? I was trying to show y'all this since I was 10. Like, it's that right now. So it's just about getting things out right now. I think I might feel like that after like I'm rich and like I'm like I said, I'm just freestyling ideas at this point. I got all my ideas out, but these are my same ideas right now from when I was a kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what do you said you're working on a couple projects. Where's kind of like the next direction you're going with you know, in music and everything else? Right
now, so my first goal was, I was telling Conway, I just wanted people to know that I existed. like that was my whole thing. Like I can rap really good and nobody knows. Like nobody's known this whole time. So I feel like I got that point across. Yeah. Like although I'm still getting people, but I have to I have a lot of different things I can do. Like I want to start singing. I'm going to start singing, but the way I've been rapping, it's like right now I'm kind of like it's gonna be like a lot of transitional sounds, but it's not really transitional if you've been paying attention to me. But if you just know me from Conway stuff, it's gonna be like it's just like a little easy transition for you, and then from there just like getting into my story for real and really like making songs. And because like I said, I've been just rapping and just like y'all, I could rap really good. Like let me just let y'all know that. Now it's like, okay, let me get in my bag and really establish myself as an artist, but I want to have y'all be comfortable with everything I can do. So.
I want to, as far as maybe helping other music artists that are kind of either trying to tap into the business, is understanding, I guess, maybe the music artists and I guess building your story, because sometimes when people connect to an artist, is really not only through their music, it's about who they are as a person.
Right.
Do you, as far as your journey that you're taking, do you feel as though you have to reveal who you are a little bit more, share your stories, your journey about you and your personal life and things of that nature to have that connection with your people who follow you?
So I don't feel like my personal life, not my personal life.
Not your personal,
but like who I am as a person for sure, because like everything, like with technology, like I said, everybody could just pick up a phone, and people, it's more about like finding a community for who you are. You know, it's not really I rap, but it's like, even if I was a chef, it's about the same thing. It's about finding people who, they don't even have to be like-minded, but they like you. Like they like you and they want to tap into what you have going on. And then that's kind of better to me anyway, because then you could take them to different mediums. Like, you know, but I do feel like also for me it's important because like I said, I just been trying to show that I could rap, and I haven't. It's been a lot of like on the freestyle, just like I'm conscious of the fact that I've been saying things that's been like to carry the conversation. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't really so much been about me or like even where I want to go, which is like I want to go to like arenas and like I legitimately want to do that. But it's like I've been rapping like I'm still at the lunch table because I know that's what I needed to do, like because I need to get my point across, like you know.
Some of the freestyles that I've seen on YouTube, a lot of views and everything else, and so. What's the mindset when you go into like a freestyle and some of, I guess, the feedback you got? Because obviously you said you've been doing this for years, and then you get into bigger platforms and then people get to see your gift that you've been, you knew you can do this, but now you've seen other people are being exposed to it. What's like the different, I guess, compared to the studio and then going to a freestyle mode? Like what's that vibe like?
When I'm in the studio, I record the same thing over and over and over and over. My engineer be like, "That was this sounds just like the last time," but it's like, no, that was different. Like
just that one little piece makes different.
So when you're doing a freestyle, you just got that one shot that you're doing it, and then it's like probably over a beat you didn't pick. You don't even know what it's gonna be. You just gotta go crazy, or not. But for me, it's like I went to traditional and we used to just battle in lunch. Like, so for me, it's really just about, for me personally, it's about just doing that because I've been doing that since I was a kid. Like, it's really just like, okay, this is what you got to do when you in these type of arenas. But I would say overall, a freestyle is just like you get to express yourself a little bit more because it's not like you don't have the constructs of a song. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you could rap for as long as you want, say as much crazy stuff as you want, and then that's it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But a song is like more structured typically, and you get a lot of times to go over it.
So I want to talk about, you mentioned like you learned a lot from your failures. Was there other, like a battle rap that you were in and you're like, man, I just really messed up, but now I gotta figure this out?
No, I never had a battle like where I messed up and I had to figure it out, but I did have a battle where this man made me cry, and I was like, I could never be embarrassed like that again. Like, that was just too much. But that was really...
Was it like impersonal? Was it something like personal that said?
No, he just like... clowned me. Like, I was a kid. I was like 11. I was like 12 or 11. This was a grown adult.
Coming at you.
Adult man. And, I mean, of course, I had braids. I had a jersey on. Yeah. The man called me ludicrous. And I was like, yo, I just busted out crying. Like, and at that point, I was like, you gotta always be sharp. Like, you gotta have something for anything that can happen. Because I had my raps down. I was not expecting that man to call me ludicrous like that. I busted out. Other than that, though, I don't really like battle rap people. Like, that was the one I've done it before, but that was one of the only times I ever like one-on-one battling you. It's often like we just saying our best verses and like who gonna get the craziest crowd reaction type.
What advice would you give to music artists? I'm 15 years old. I think I got some hot lyrics. I want to really get in the industry. I want to just perfect my craft. What do you tell them?
I would tell a 15-year-old to, it's going to sound crazy, but I would say don't care about what anybody says. Believe wholeheartedly in what you are doing. But also know when you need to switch and when you need to listen to people. It's like a interesting line, but and aside from that, get you some good people around you who care about you, because that's not normal in this industry. Just like people who genuinely care about you and just like, how you doing today? Like, be mindful of that and just keep going. Like, keep going. And another important thing I say is to know what risk you should take. Yeah, because every risk is not worth taking. Some of it is just a risk. You just risk your neck. Like, that was it. Like, understand that.
Hey, what's up, Western New York? Did you know that Empower716 Talk Show is looking to promote and recognize young entrepreneurs in Western New York? You could recommend yourself or someone else to be acknowledged on a future episode. Nominees need to be age 21 or under, has a service or product that offers value, has taken steps to become an entrepreneur, and must be willing to come on the show and talk about their service or product if selected. Email us at empower716@gmail.com.
Want to stay up to date with Empower 716? Don't forget to share. Click here in the right-hand corner of the video and follow button below so you can see the upcoming episodes live on your news feed. Find Empower 716 on LinkedIn Live, YouTube, Facebook, and other audio platforms.
As far as the expectation of a female artist, do you feel as a female artist, a lot of times people feel they have to look like the Nicki Minaj's, the Cardi B's the Lattos, the look. Do you feel like that is the expectation for many female artists getting into the industry?
I feel like that look is even changed. Like, in 2023, you got different, even in women who are more popular, you literally have more. I feel like people often like box things in, but it's like, if you look in that box, this is actually not all the same stuff. So even in the look, they're like, it's not the same look. Like, so I feel like, no, one, but I feel too like women have existed as rappers for, like, it's a lot of us, and it's been for a couple years now, so the need and the whatever for variety is there. Like, like we've already had, like, Nicki, she like over 10 years in at this point, right? So like that look and that standard and stuff is like is grown a lot. Like, there's like different style women from Detroit, from Chicago, like Buffalo now got a different thing, I feel like Nicki, what she did, it made a lot of sense for the time. But even with like homosexual rappers. There are some trans rappers and stuff like that. There is no standard real look anymore. That's what I'm saying. It's like you really got to find your community and the people who just rock with however you look.
When you think of like artists like Queen Latifah, Missy Elliott,
right,
Roxanne, did I say MC Light, The Brat? Yeah,
right.
So I mean, there are still a lot of, you know, different boxes.
But there was a time I feel like where it did seem like everybody had to have a certain look, like even the BBL things. Like I feel like even that is like not the time keeps going. Like, you know what I'm saying? BBLs are what they are, but people are also removing these BBLs and like, so it's just not the same. Yeah. Like, and then also the outlets, like when Nicki was out, TV was still a hot thing. So like the overall masses of a viewership want to see a certain thing. That's just saying like a movie and a commercial or an ad. But now things are on our phone, is more personalized. You could kind of get a lot of different things off.
So who are you, like what's your top 5 artists right now?
My top 5 artists right now is Conway the Machine.
No, you're not just saying that because you...
No, he really, like Conway really is like a really good rapper. Conway the Machine, Shay Noor. Shay Noor is hard. I like Lotto. Lotto's fire. I'm talking about right now. These are my favorite right now. Lotto, NBA Youngboy. No, I'm switching him out for Lil Baby. I'm switching him for Baby.
Oh.
I love both of them though, but I'm talking about who I listen to a lot. Like, and then number 5, I'm actually gonna give it to Cardi.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
And when Cardi gonna get an album out?
Cardi good. She good.
She could do her features, right?
Yeah.
So no Lil Durk. You don't listen to Lil Durk?
I definitely listen to Lil Durk, but I don't listen to him like as much as I listen to Lotto.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's Lotto. So I think I only listen to obviously her songs that she has that are out, Energy, and what's the new one?
Put It on the Floor.
Put It on the Floor. Yeah. So she has an album out and everything. So
yeah, she got stuff out. She had stuff out for a couple years. Yeah, she's dope. But I don't really listen. I don't really listen to people's. I listen to people's album, but not in a way that's like tap into this album. Like,
now that's a good point you made. So do people listen to like? I download sometimes. It's been a while since I downloaded a full album.
Right.
And can. You know, even like I used to be a big Drake fan. I mean, over the years, I think he kind of like more commercialized, but there's only very few artists that I can listen to the whole album.
Right, same.
So, do you think that's kind of changed, like, as far as people projects, like, you know, how you used to have to like release 3 songs. Not only is people, is there like a strategy that even with your album that you do, as far as releasing certain songs?
Personally, I like releasing like 1 or 2 songs before dropping, but I think that's just about you individually. Like some people just keep dropping singles and they never drop an album.
Yeah.
Like, you know, or they just drop random singles they make and then they put it together as an album and it really is clearly not. They just, here's all the songs I made this year. Like, you know, but I think I listen to people, I take people differently. Like some artists are album artists to me. Like I want to be an art. I consider myself an album artist because of the way I make my music is like I said, I do, but it's like often I don't just go to the studio and just like, I'm just here at the studio. Like some people put the music together in a certain sequence to where it's like you kind of have to listen to it as an album. But the way the actual business is, you don't need that. That's the reality of it. You just need people to listen up to a certain amount of time on one song and hope they play it back. Yeah, and that's really it.
So when you're releasing the album, do you try to market through social media, like how you see like the trends and with TikTok and things of that nature, like
catch on to the trends? Nah, I don't, because thank God for Griselda, but they kind of carved out you don't have to do that. Like they made out like a boutique brand essentially, like limited quantities of things and like exclusive releases and like secret events and stuff like that. So I'm able to operate in that.
And you think that kind of helps because, I guess because that helps you target the people who want to listen to your music. Who really want to
lock in with you. Right, for sure.
Because some of that really doesn't last. Like, you can go viral on a song, and that doesn't mean it's going to equate to, people downstreaming your songs and you getting paid for it.
Right. And that's where it comes, like I'm saying, getting people to like you.
Yeah.
Because then they will. So there are people who, of course, will listen because they liked your last song. But the goal is to get people to just like you. Mm-hmm. So even when you make a song that they don't like, they still like, oh, they were just that was just that one song. Like that's the goal, really. Like so, yeah.
So what do you think about like music videos? Now it used to have, and I think Beyonce probably is the exception to this. Is that you used to have a music video to sell a song. Do you think that's still the requirement?
No, it's not. But I appreciate a good music video. I feel like Tyler. Is there some artists who still hold that standard?
Yeah.
Like Tyler, the Creator, puts a lot into his videos. Rocky puts a lot into his videos. Travis put a lot into his videos. So, but that's what I mean. The industry and the stuff has changed a lot. I feel like because, like I'm saying, the standard or the primary way people get this media is no longer TV. All of those standards of the quality and all of the things that you needed and stuff is gone. It's like you can just let me see something that's gonna keep me rocking while the song on. Like let me just see at least what you were talking about. And then if it's like that, a lot of people just talking about guns and stuff. So like here go a gun in the music video. Like here's the car I was talking about, and that's it. Like if you think about like even Busta Rhymes, Missy Elliott, they was going crazy in their videos, but you were also seeing more than they were saying. Like,
And you made a good point too, because I think the standard used to be like, get my video played on BET or MTV.
Right.
And then you had certain things you could do and couldn't do as far as your creativity and everything else. There's certain things they wouldn't play, but now if you got access to YouTube.
Right. It's just on your phone. It could be anything.
Yeah. Do you listen to Childish Gambino at all?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
It was actually, I was never a fan of Childish Gambino, but there was someone who put me on to one of his videos, and I think it was like the artwork and all the things that he was showing through the music, which made me vibe like the creative side. I was like, this is like dope. And I don't know if it was a documentary, but it was like basically taking you through like a different lens of his music, of how he was creating it. And he told a story, so that kind of helped me connect to his music, and it kind of takes you out of like the things that you're like. Do you feel like how do you get into untapped people that you haven't connected to, like the audience? Because I believe like there's like somebody who, if you listen, a lot of people don't listen to radio, but if you just listen to the radio, you're gonna hear the same songs over and over. And then just like me, like I listen to your song like, oh, this is dope. But if I didn't have you come on my show, I wouldn't have probably listened to it, connected to it. Right. And now I'm like, now I'm exposed to a different, like,
now you tapped into it. Right.
So how do you get, I guess, is there any strategy that you have to get to those who may not be aware of who you are?
Well, that's where you do, different collabs with different artists and your playlisting on different streaming, so that like on Spotify, somebody listening to Foxy Brown, you'll come across, like I'll come across as well. Like people also like this type of thing, and like getting on good playlists and stuff. You just include it in other people who people are like artists. Different ways of doing ads. Like today, you could just pay for like a YouTube ad and target market it for real to who you want to see it. Really, it's just about knowing that you can do it and knowing when and how to use those analytics for the next thing you're doing.
When did you know, like, obviously you said you were rapping since you were age 11 or so. When did you take it like serious, like from like, this is, I gotta go all in or nothing?
I would say just now, maybe like 2020, really last year, probably.
Really? Wow.
Probably last year, because from when I was a kid, from when I was a child, there was a point where it was like, I'm about to get a record deal. Like, we were going to New York. My mom, we were taking trips out there. We were going to Atlanta. We met with Usher people. Like, we went to Bad Boy Studio but nothing happened. So somewhere in there, I just started doing it for the fun. Like, this is what I do with my days. I go to the studio, I make songs. Like, that's what I mean. And then, like I said, I stopped doing music, and Benny hit me up, got back into it, and then I started going to the studio. Even being around Conway and them, it was like, but I think that it clicked for me when, I really don't know, just I guess when so many people are just showed me that they just want to see what I'm doing next. Like, just that. Because it's like not even... Because I always go to the studio. I always make songs. And people, not to sound any way, but people always respond any type of way. Like, oftentimes positively, most times. But that's not a thing for me. But when I walk in a space, I'm just walking and people just wanting to see what I'm doing. Or like, what are you about to order? Like, that type of stuff. It's like... oh, I'm doing something. Like, and I'm saying that because, like I said, I've been doing it so long. It's like I kind of and because I got back into it in a sad space, I was just doing it, like, and then it's like now some point last year something clicked, like I said, and it was like you can kind of look up, like you could kind of like, like you doing something now, like you kind of. But I don't know when it was, but I think it's just a matter of like going in places and people just looking, but not just looking, just like literally like, is she going to say a word? Like that type of thing is like, oh, okay. Like people care. I guess that's the thing. When I started to realize people were cared is when it was like, okay. Because I've been doing it for so long.
As you build your platform and you continue to grow, how do you navigate the critics, the negatives, I won't even say haters, because it's not hate. Maybe just, I don't like your music. You suck. And when you hear that through social media, somebody comments that this is garbage, and how do you navigate that?
Well,
you can put your real answer.
Nah, this is the truth. Because for one, I really do, like, I really... So I used to just put stuff out and like I just put it out, but now I like, that's why I have to, like, I step away from the thing and see if I really like it or not. Then I put it out. If I really like something and I put it out and somebody said that, I really do listen a lot more. Like, let me hear, like, if it was for real, because I could listen to something from outside of myself. Like, I could see if they listen to it in the Jeep, that was trash. Right. Like, I hear it. Like, but I also just like, I don't know. It's probably my ego for real, but I'd be like,
because I don't think you have no choice but to take it personal. Because I think, like, if you're obviously, like you just said, this is your outlet. It's you.
It's art. It's literally art. Like, it's really art. Like, it's like, let me see something you made. It don't have to be a song, but let me see what you came out with. Like, but also, like, I have people who I do trust their opinions, and if somebody says something like that, I send it to my friend, or like, and was I tripping when I put this out? Or like,
did y'all really like this?
Like, I was like, nah, you could have did this. Like, I take honest criticism or whatever, because I do have times where I'm like, I don't care what anybody think, I'm putting this out. Like, and then if that's the case, if it's whack, I just take that. Like, okay, I need to follow the order that I do things and, like, not try to. But overall, like I said, it's really about just believing in yourself, because to me, the way I look at everything, all of this stuff is made up. Somebody made all of this stuff. Somebody made this mic, all of this stuff. And there's somebody for everything. Like, there's a lot of different microphones. You got this one for what you were trying to do. You know what I mean? So that doesn't, like, if somebody needs a mic, a floor mic, they're going to say this one is whack. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the way I think about things. But it's art. So, like,
I love that. It's tough because, like I said, you can have 99 positive things and comments, and that one negative thing.
But if I have 99 positive, that's just like on Facebook when you got 100 likes, 99 loves, and then somebody come and like it. It's like they just wanted to do that. Like they just wanted to oppose that. Everybody else loving it. Yeah, like, you know.
Wow. So anything you want to share with the audience before we take off?
Yes, audience. Please check out my music. The Genius tape, like I said, is out right now. It's on all streaming platforms. The way you spell my name is the number 7xvethegenius. The Genius. I have a code and comic and website and platform and course and all of that coming out. Okay, so awesome. Sign up for that at loveislove.com. 7xve is love.com. And then the last thing, my album, like I said, Death to Deuce, my drum work album, is definitely coming out this year too. Wow.
A lot of things. I'm excited for you and love watching and continue to watch where you're gonna go.
Thank you.
And I'm not gonna ask for a free ticket to a concert, but when the concert comes in, I'll make sure I get a ticket to go see you, because it's great to see. One is that you're where I've seen you start from and to where you're going, and having the same level-headed, and it just shows that, you know, the hard work that you put into it. I know your family, like you talked about, a good supportive system, people who believe in you, and then you believing in yourself. And so, especially coming from our neighborhoods where it's sometimes it gets gloomy.
Facts.
And so I'm glad that you're reaching back and that you're reachable still.
Yeah, I'm definitely reachable. I'm unreachable, but I'm reachable too.
Yeah. So I love that.